In this video, I want to talk about running a Spotify promo campaign with ads, but for free and paid for. Hey, it's John here at Hyped It, and in this video, I want to talk about money and funding your promo campaigns. And I picked this topic because I got a really great question in the comments to one of my prior videos. And this question came from Mark, and Mark said, "What's the bigger monetization strategy, John? Followers, streams, and fans, etc. are all good, but sometimes the ads need to start becoming self-funding, right?" So when Mark posted this question, I decided to record this video here, talk about 3 monetization strategies, including one that essentially allows you to run Spotify promo campaigns with ads, self-funded, meaning it's for free to you. So I want to share all of this with you in this video here. But before we jump in, don't forget to hit the subscribe, the like, and the bell icon below so that you can get more videos like this on YouTube on how to reach and get more fans for your music. So the first way to make money on Spotify obviously is from royalty. So let's take a look at this real quick. Spotify pays artists typically in a range of 0.003 to 0.005 cent per stream, which means 100 streams would earn you somewhere between 30 cents and 50 cents. Now, if you compare this to the cost of acquiring a listener from a Facebook and Instagram ad campaign, which might be anywhere from 10 cents to 20 cents to 30 cents, 40 cents, maybe 50 cents, you'll notice that typically you would expect that you need between 50 and 100 streams in order to break even on that listener, meaning the streams that the listener is giving you and the royalties that you're getting from those streams pays for what it costs you to acquire that listener in the first place. Is this possible? Well, the answer to this question is yes, but you have to think long term, right? It's very unlikely that a new listener that you bring into your world just stays and streams your music for 50 streams, for 100 streams in a matter of a couple hours or a couple days. What you would expect happens instead is that because these ads, they attract diehard listeners and listeners that are very likely to follow you and save your music and come back to your music over and over again, that as you release new music, more songs come out. Every new of these songs is a reason for a listener to come back. You will, in fact, add up lots of streams from a single listener over time, but it's going to take a couple months. It might even take a couple years. So if you're thinking very long term, there's the potential that on some of your listeners, they will actually pay for themselves. They will earn you in royalties what it costs you in order to bring them into your world using ads. But does this happen with every listener? Look, the answer to that question is likely no. And an easy way to check this is just to go into Spotify for Artists and check your number of all-time listeners and your number of all-time streams, and you'll see what the ratio is. How many streams have you gotten on average from all the listeners that ever came to your music? And if I do this for my music and I look at my all-time listeners and my all-time streams, that ratio is 8.3, which means on average, every listener has gotten me between 8 and 9 streams, which is far less than I would need if I wanted to break even on every one of those listeners. Now, the truth is that I did not acquire all of these listeners using ads, right? That's where the calculation gets a whole lot more complex, because only a handful of these listeners actually came in with ads. But because these listeners helped the music gain popularity, and then Spotify's algorithm kicked in, and so more listeners discovered my music on radio, Discover Weekly, Release Radar, and other algorithmic playlists that I didn't have to pay for, the ratio actually does look better at the end. So the royalties that I've earned on all those streams actually don't have to pay for all of these listeners, but only for a smaller portion that was acquired with ads. But my point still is, if you invest a promotion budget to drive listeners to your music on Spotify, and you're looking to get repaid on that investment with royalties alone, you have to think long term. All right, this is a long game that we're playing as music artists. Now, when I started doing this, my primary motivation wasn't money. It was to get recognition for my music and getting acknowledged as an artist. And quite frankly, I looked around at what my friends were doing, and I have friends that, spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars going to golf courses and buying golf equipment, and they're spending all this money on golf, but they don't expect to make $1 back. They don't expect to become golf pros. Or I have other friends who spend so much money on video games and equipment and hardware and all of this, not because they're thinking they'll ever make a money back as a professional e-gamer or something, just because they love it. And I love music. So music was always a passion and a hobby first, and I was just ready and excited to invest in it. That's to say that waiting for money to come back in the long term is perfectly fine for me. As long as I know that the fans that I'm attracting with ads are diehard fans, where I'm giving myself a high probability of having sort of a long tail in royalties coming back to me, which is very different from Spotify playlist promotion, for example, where you primarily get your music in front of passive listeners, and then once you're off the playlist, they don't stick around. So your streams basically drop all the way back to zero. So that's where I would not expect to have this long tail of royalties coming in. So that's something that's unique and a benefit to attracting real diehard fans with ads. But all that said, there are in fact ways for you to earn back any kind of promo budget that you invest on your Spotify ad campaign a lot faster. And that brings me to strategy number 2, turning the table and earning a promo budget as a playlist curator. Here's what this is all about, right? When you run a promo campaign on Spotify, and let's say you're using a tool like Hypedit's ad automation, where literally from a list of promotional templates, you pick the goal that you're after, you can build a campaign with the primary goal of promoting a Spotify playlist. In some of my other videos, I describe how I've been doing this, promoting a playlist with all of my own music, but it doesn't have to be like this. The playlist that you promote does not have to be a "this is insert artist name" or "best of insert artist name" playlist. It can also be a themed or branded playlist, a playlist that you built around a particular genre, in my example, piano house music, or around a particular activity, music for workout, music for driving, music for relaxation, anything along those lines. And if you build one of those themed or branded playlists, it provides you the opportunity to put your own music on it, but also feature other music artists on it. And what I've seen music artists do successfully is build these themed playlists, have some of their own songs on it, but then curate other songs through places such as SubmitHub or Groover, where as curators, they actually earn money checking out other artists' music and featuring some additional music on these playlists. And if you do that, you can literally earn a couple dollars every day by curating additional music on the playlist, and then use that budget in order to fund the promo campaign that drives listeners to the playlist. And the benefit is that the playlist grows, so you're getting more interest in this playlist over time, more submissions, which brings up the earning potential. And because some of your own music's on that playlist as well, you're also getting more listeners and streams and fans for your own music. This isn't something I invented, I can't take credit for it, but it's something that I've seen lots of music artists do very successfully, including Daryl, who I interviewed about how he grew from 0 to over 10,000 fans and hundreds of thousands of streams on Spotify, all essentially for free using this technique. So let me leave a link above to a video with Daryl where he's breaking down how he has done this for his music. Now there's one third strategy that I've been using in order to fund my promotion campaigns, and I want to include it here, and this is making money with merchandise. And what's so exciting about this opportunity that it actually can work even without you having a big audience. It just depends on how you look at merchandise. When I look at merchandise, I don't design merchandise with my own artist name on it. I don't think there are a lot of people in the world who would want to run around with a John Gold t-shirt or wear a John Gold hat. But I know there are a lot of house music fans out there that do love to show off their passion for house music with t-shirts, with hats, with other things. So what I do with my merchandise, I design visuals and graphics that just express the passion for house music without being branded John Gold. And what it allowed me to do is I was able to run Facebook ads and Instagram ads to send house music fans and t-shirts fans directly to my merch store and buy these t-shirts, and do it in a way where it actually threw off money for me that I was able to invest right back into my promo campaigns. So there you have it, 3 ways to think about funding and money for your promo campaign: Spotify royalties, turning yourself into a playlist curator, and lifestyle merchandise for your music genre. Want to get your music heard on Spotify with AI? I just launched a brand new video training program called the Spotify Growth Switch, where I show you how to start growing real listeners, real fans, and real streams on Spotify in less than 10 minutes using software and AI. I've used the Spotify Growth Switch system to now grow my music to over 7 million streams and tens of thousands of monthly listeners on Spotify. This works for any music genre. It gets you real fans and listeners super fast. and it's extremely easy to set up, literally just like flipping a spotlight switch for your music. Despite using AI, you don't need to know nothing about tech stuff in order to be successful with this. I've had the tremendous privilege of helping multiple tens of thousands of music artists grow their music on Spotify, many of which have grown to much larger numbers, lots more listeners, lots more streams than I have using the systems that I've taught. Makes me so proud of their success. And so if you want to get more real listeners, real fans, and real streams for your music fast using state-of-the-art software and AI, then click the link below this video and check out the Spotify Growth Switch. I can't wait to help you grow your music on Spotify, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.